Let me know if you guys are able to check your boxes. Zach, did you get the option? Is Zach dead? Did you get the option to check the box for your audio? See, that's what I'm talking about. It's probably because you're on the app. I knew you was gonna try and sabotage it, man. It's all right. It's not, but like, what can be done, right? Why you gotta be that human being? Do you? Is that what that is? Crim, is your
All
box
right, I
checked?
clicked include my audio.
Hey, there we go. All right, now I'm about to drop the theme and we gonna start. If you don't understand the theme, it's all right. But this is for the trolling that happened, right? All right, guys, we'll just cut that short right there. I'm not gonna be an asshole. Welcome to the Island of Relevancy podcast. I'm your host, the active commissioner of the SFL. I guess the reigning, defending, undisputed SFL champion. Q. Right now, Mike just stepped away because he wanted to go to Whataburger, and I have Crim, who is the Kansas City Chiefs, and I have Zachary, owner of the ever so dominant San Francisco 49ers. How are you guys today?
Ever so dominant's crazy, man. I don't know about that.
Hey, hey, man.
We're
It
working.
is what it is. Oh, I like that. I like the fact that you're working. All right, I'm gonna open up asking you guys a couple of questions, and this is from the league, right? So Zach, this is just for you right now. Who are the teams with the most surprising and disappointing seasons? Conference does not matter.
Okay, well, first team that comes to mind is Gomes and the Cowboys. I mean, with that roster, you wanna do more than that. I think if he can figure out his passing game a little bit, which I mean, we've been saying that for a while, but if he can do that, I think he could turn it around. But he's been disappointed. I think he was disappointing at 4-13. And
Oh shit!
you don't think so? You
No,
thought
I
that
didn't
was
know
on
he was
par?
4-13.
Yeah, no, I saw that earlier. It's a lot of losses.
God.
It's a lot to sit through.
Hey
Um,
man, maybe it's about the grind. I don't know.
Bryce winning his division with the Falcons is good. Uh, You'd expect Chan to win that with his roster, but Bryce overcome, especially when him trading away, his versatile weapon at tight end. And who did he trade? Oh, he traded AJ Terrell to you, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, we
So
had to
I
give
mean,
up first and another corner.
I told him to let me know when he was due trading, but he never got back to me. It's all good. Those would be my two. I don't pay too much attention to the AFC. Um, just
No harm, no
you,
foul.
yeah, it's just I gotta keep my eyes on my competition.
Understandable. All right, Crim. What are your teams with the most surprising and then disappointing seasons? They're saying they can't hear you, Crim.
Now you can probably hear me. So long story short, Chan would be the most disappointing team for
Crim
me.
is saying that Chan is the most
Yes,
disappointing team
I
for
think that
him.
they can't hear me now, but we'll see. And then the most surprising team would be the man who beat him. I'd go with LB. The Bears team isn't great. Somehow, some way, I mean, it's LB, so I'm not surprised in regards to the owner himself, but the team that he had to field and to win that division and also a playoff game is pretty impressive to me.
LB came to
Mm,
mind for me as well, but just his his resume speaks for itself. I mean, I expect LB in the playoffs no matter what, so that's why I didn't pick him, but
yeah, he's on the Mount
it's a good
Rushmore.
choice for sure.
But all right. So the question that you guys answered was actually submitted by Bryce, who you guys were talking about.
Oh shit!
So yeah,
Shout out
we'll
Bryce.
get yeah, he out here handling his business. All right. So this one is actually from Steps, and he wanted to know you guys' thoughts on your respective conferences. So, Krim, you talk about the AFC, Zach, you talk about the NFC. And it kind of falls in line with what Zach was talking about earlier anyway.
You want to go ahead, Krim, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go. I feel like this is the most balance we've seen in quite some time. I can say that much. Um, but I do feel like my conference does have more of an, I guess, established talent. I know there are some guys in the NFC who are newer and kind of up and coming, but you have the likes of Ed, UQ, AC's in here, Castro's in here, Bird's in here. I mean, those guys have titles. Those guys are, people who have been around
Most of them.
and succeeded. Yes, most of them. Uh,
Yeah.
so you've got guys like that in the AFC. You've got guys, kind of some underdogs like OG Walker in there. He didn't do too bad this year at 9-8. I mean,
Yeah,
Cody's
he was
here,
fighting.
and Cody. I mean, although 6-11, not that bad of a user. So I feel like we have guys here who are established. We have guys here who are good users, but I mean, there's a good balance in the league right now, but I would go with the fact that we have more household names to put a term to it.
All right. How about you, Zach?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. We got, like, I mean, Steps alluded to it on his podcast, but we got a lot of users around the same um, skill level. I mean, you'd expect more from Garo. I mean, Nate talks a lot, so I expected more from him, but
Mm,
um, I haven't seen any of his games, so I can't really speak on his game.
okay.
Um, I mean, I think my division, although some people talk down on it, I think there's some real potential. I mean, we saw growth in stacks, and I believe anybody could turn it around um, if they keep. I mean, maybe not in one Madden, but if they stick around. just
Yeah,
keep
I mean, they
working
just have to apply themselves, right?
for
So,
sure. And so,
so I,
and Pat Lad's seen some success. Um, but
yeah, that was before the heel turn, though.
did he did he turn? What was he talking?
Yeah,
Or
he's a full fledged heel right now. I don't know what happened.
I've seen a lot of
Uh,
respect from from Pat Lad since we've been sharing a division since he's been here. So it's I haven't seen much of that, but I think he's a guy that could definitely maybe sneak into the playoffs next year if he gets his stuff together.
okay, all right. So let me ask you this, and this goes for you too, Crim. What area of your game do you feel you need to improve before you can win a Super Bowl or make it to the Super Bowl?
I
For
mean, for
me,
me, yeah, go ahead.
oh no,
You're
go
good.
ahead.
Good, go ahead.
Okay. For me, it's just I need to be more consistent with my play. I mean, the like when I go into these games, I really don't know if I'm gonna win or not. Like it's a, but I don't fear anybody, but I don't take anybody lightly either. And just things happen, and I feel like I just need if I can be consistent because I can hang with some of the top users, but it just usually in the playoffs it all falls apart for whatever reason. And I think just overall consistency, both on offense and defense. I don't think um, I can really blame. Uh, I have games where I score 40 points. I have games where I win 20 to 17, and it's so both. I just need if they can get in sync. That'll be the key to success.
Gotcha. Crim?
Yeah, I mean, I would second that. I think it can be more consistent, but to hone in on one thing specifically is just to be able to read the field better. I mean, obviously, there's times where things kind of come together and they work, and I think I saw that 2 weeks ago in my wild card game. And then if you look at the game just played, I mean, it's a whole different person. That person is lost, doesn't know what they're doing, kind of making a bunch of mistakes on both sides of the ball. So being more consistent obviously is a big thing, but just a matter of making reads, better reads, and you know quicker reads. I'm kind of not the greatest passer as I said before with Steph on his podcast, but that's probably the biggest thing. I have to be able to pass the ball better than I am right now, even if it does look like I'm doing a decent job at it.
Okay. Um, before we continue, I just want to let you guys know this is a pro Canada podcast right here, right? Got representatives from each conference, and they're both from the Great White North. So, piggybacking off of what Crim said, this question is specifically for Crim. Those other questions were from Steps. Bird wants to know how in the hell did you lose to Taylor Heineke?
I mean, I just did. It's not like Taylor Heineke went out and balled. I mean, he did very well. Um, for someone who watched most of the game and yourself, you can kind of tell that I gave up a lot of soft spots to him, so making throws was easy. If a man's wide open, you can obviously, there's nothing to it. But I mean, it was more so the run game. Ed's run game is really good. I tried to stop it, kind of, would hold it in check for a bit, then he'd break off a 20-yard run. So it was more so that than Heineke. Heineke did his thing. He was, good for what he was, but I don't think he would be the reason that I lost the game.
Gotcha. So, despite this being pro Canada, Zach, do you want to double back on any of the things that you said in regards to Crim the other night when you kind of went off on a tangent?
Well, I mean, I feel like I didn't say anything personal to Crim. I just more so defending myself and I kind of like I said before, I think you mentioned something about losing games to my divisional opponents, and I feel like they're not weak opponents. It's just I mean sometimes
So you
you know
basically were defending your division, right?
yeah I mean the records are what they are, but I don't think that's a full reflection on their skill level.
Anything you want to add to that, Crim?
No, I mean, I just feel like it was heat of the moment type of deal.
I agree.
Um, so this is more so of that than anything else. But I mean, it's that and also a mixture of everybody being TRC and company hyping up Zach, and then Zach would go out and like
Yeah,
lose games that he shouldn't have lost.
I agree with
So
that.
it
Hey,
was more so tough
somebody
luck
must
than
have
anything
stooged him
else.
off on these questions. My next question was to ask Zach, how does he feel about this newly supported groundswell of adulation and regard from his peers?
Well, TRC's disappeared recently. I feel like he was around when I was 7, 8, 0, and then all of a sudden I lose 5 out of 4 games, and I haven't heard much from him, or 4 out of 5 games, pardon me, and I haven't heard much from him since. But I don't. I mean, I appreciate the love, but it just sometimes it draws unnecessary attention, and then when I lose, people talk about it, and it's not. I don't need that. I just need to keep
No,
winning. I need to get farther before I can, truly
no
feel
added,
like
no added
it's
pressure.
deserved. Not exactly. And I mean, there's no pressure with these Madden games. It's just a Madden game. It's,
So, are you ready for your game against your upcoming opponent?
I mean, LB and I played earlier in the season, and that was one of the best games, like mentally locked in I've been, and I only beat him by 3 points in overtime. So it's gonna take a great game, but
You
um,
feel like you can get back to that place where you were locked in?
I think so. I think the team overall difference in the playmakers I have make will make it a bit easier for me. I still gotta pay attention because I mean LB puts his players in great positions to succeed. So it's not. I still got to do my part in doing the same, but having the types of players I have, especially someone like Nick Bosa, who can be a game wrecker, um, like I've seen a few times, or Fred Warner, who Crim saw strip Travis
Gotcha.
Kelsey on his final drive. So it's those things make it easier for me.
Well,
Sure.
allow me to marry those two things. Um, the last thing pretty much said by Krim and your opponent here, and I say that because story time, right? So, uh, Krim just lost a game that he probably felt like he could win, right? And I can't speak for him, but I'm assuming he felt like he let himself down and things of that. And I'm not here to, heap any slander or anything like that. But that feeling resonates with me because many moons ago, and it's no disrespect to the people in the league now, but as I was saying before, like me personally, I feel like there are people here to play. There are people here to compete. There are people here to construct rosters. Like people are here for different reasons. People are here, to be with their friends and things like that or whatever. But before all of this, before this new influx of people joining the league, it was a crabs in a barrel mentality, right? And everybody was pretty much gunning for a Super Bowl, and I feel like that's the difference between the SFL then as opposed to now, right? And then at that time, the undisputed GOAT was LB, the professor, as he's known, and he had won, I believe, 3 Super Bowls already, and went to more. And as I think I was telling Krim, I still think he's been to more Super Bowls than me, just to show you like how long LB has been dominant. But I say that to say, like, not only at that point was I practicing, and like I had a hype train, I guess, of people that wanted me to win, more so because they were kind of tired of LB. So I had people in my corner supporting me the way Zach did. And to be honest, just to condense this, like, no, me knowing situational awareness and all of that stuff, it's a little different when like your emotions cause you to pick certain plays and make decisions and things like that. Because situational awareness went out of the window. No common sense was applied at the end of the game, and LB is really good at taking away the things that you do and making you fight southpaw. And I didn't watch the game with Chan, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what he did. Like that's his calling card on defense, not to give away anything. But me going to my first Super Bowl and coming up short, I think I ended up losing by 1 or 2 points or whatever. I completely understand how Crim feels. You get what I'm saying? But with that, you gotta use that shit as motivational fuel to get better. Because nobody really wants to see you get better more than you want to. So you're gonna have your detractors and your naysayers and things like that. There are gonna be people that slander you every which way. You just gotta kind of figure out what you do well, and you go from there. So this question just came in just now. This is from Steps, and Steps wants to know if you two guys played each other in a pro Canada Super Bowl. I added pro Canada because you know he's anti Canada. Which one of you guys would win and why? And Krim, you can go first.
I would say I would win the game.
And the why.
Uh, I'm not. Well, first off, if you're gonna say that, if you're gonna say your opponent would win the game if we played, that to me is ass backwards. There's no reason for that. If you're in a Super Bowl, you're there to win the game. So I mean, I'm picking myself every time. As to why, I feel like there's. I mean, again, it's more so the LB mentality, picking on the weakness of a player. I mean, I know when I played Zach many times, even this past year when I played him. Um, a lot of the time, if you can get pressure to him, that kind of throws off his game, and he makes mistakes. As do I, as is most of us. So I feel like my team's constructed in a way where they can generate that pressure, they can stop the run, they can force him to pass. That's when he makes mistakes. That's when the game goes in my favor.
Okay. What about you, Zach?
We gotta edit that part out, just so that's
All
we can't
right.
have too many people. I still got a game to play. Um, so this hypothetical is if we met in the Super Bowl. Is that what it is? Because
Yeah, yeah. If you and Krim met in the Super
okay,
Bowl, who wins and why?
see, and I mean I know I said there's no pressure, but I got it. I got a feeling I'd be feeling some sort of pressure in the in a Super Bowl game. But it's just I mean right on par with what Crim said. I mean I'm not gonna pick Crim because I just don't believe that's true. Because why? I mean why would I pick an opponent, especially if I mean if I'm in the Super Bowl, something's working. So um yeah, and I mean as to the why, uh I don't know. I don't know if there's another why. I mean it could be
Just,
a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of um
man said, I'm not picking
factors.
Krim. I got this.
There's just a lot of factors that the situation. I have to be in the situation to give that question a full, an honest answer,
Okay. I
if you know what
appreciate,
I'm saying.
yeah, I appreciate you being contrite and honest. Um, Actually, let me ask you guys one more question because this guy's on a roll, right? Who do you guys have the worst matchup with all time?
You?
Answers.
It's as simple as that. It's you. I mean, we've played enough to where I've gotten some, but in the NFC South, I mean that was I think I won the division 3 times I can remember, and the rest were you. So I have to go you. It's cut and dry.
Okay.
Uh, for me, I mean, ever since I got here, I don't know if uh, I've came or paused. I don't know if I think Chan gets the better of me every time. Uh, I remember my first year in the league. I made the playoffs, and he was my first playoff matchup, and I mean, it wasn't even close.
When you first
And
came, you had Miami, right?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, I remember. I
he had
lost to
95
you.
speed
I
McKinney.
remember that shit. I lost to you earlier in the year. I owe you, Zach.
I think I still got a game clip from that game, to be honest. But um,
All right.
I think there's a Byron Maxwell pick six. I'll send it to you later. Um,
Ah, okay. I see you
but
soon.
um, I think yeah, it'd be Chan. I mean, I lost to him this season, and yeah, he's just always caused problems for me.
Got you. All right. Allow me to refute some things. Well, Nate said your division is poverty and that you were trying to defend it. And
I mean, I saw that,
okay,
but I mean, Turk said it a couple days ago in the chat. I mean, he hasn't been here for too long, so I
yeah,
don't really
I
take
won't.
too much of what he says seriously. So
Got you.
it's
No, I understand. What I wanted to say is I'm not gonna keep you guys forever, but I did want to. I heard something on the I believe it's the One Cut podcast, and I just want to clear it up. If I can have the floor for a second. Um, this is no filter. We call a spade, right? So this is, I believe, this is Madden 20. Uh, Bird was talking to Steps, but this is the whole Lamar Jackson thing, right? So if we're gonna put all the cards on the table. So it is what it is. Um, I ended up with Lamar, right? That's a fact. And I never tried to even trade for him. That's also a fact. Inside of this, I have receipts. I've actually sent some to Steps here maybe like a month ago. But as you guys here know, and maybe half the league knows, like most people usually try to go through me to facilitate trades, and I don't know why, but this is what happens. Is that fair to say, guys?
yeah, I do it myself, so it's
But I'm just,
I'd agree.
I'm just not to out yourself or anything like that, but so
I
in
don't
this
think
particular situation, um, Malik tried to get involved to get Lamar because Garl had him and couldn't use him, which sounds absurd when you think about it. And this guy's an 84 overall or whatever, right? But Lamar's Lamar. And I tried to help Malik. And then I tried to help Mike, right? And then Mike was willing to actually overpay. But, we use the calculator here, so that doesn't really work, right? You got to kind of be fair. And it took a while, and that kind of went left. LB got involved. Shit, Castro got involved, right? From the Cardia crew. So, like, without telling each one of these guys that somebody else is bidding, being completely fair, I'm just submitting these deals to Garo trying to get something done. The crazy part was that LB actually had the Ravens for so long, and then he left and came back. He didn't have them anymore, and because Lamar was an 84 overall, LB didn't believe he should have to give up a first rounder to get Lamar Jackson, which sounds insane, but all of this is a fact. So LB was out, Mike was out. Uh, Castro was doing some weirdo shit that ended up not working out or whatever the case is. And then, Malik and Gar don't really have the best relationship. Safe to say that, right? So that all went out, and yet and still, unbeknownst, like it's still you can't even fathom. Imagine having Lamar Jackson. You're saying, yeah, I can't use him. He's not good for me or whatever. Like that shit doesn't even sound like it makes any sense. Now we'll back up further. I played I played Bird in the divisional round of the first season of Madden 20. I did lose. I think he said he had a anybody but Julio defense, but the anybody but Julio defense was man under with shaded outside. If that's anybody but Julio, then I tip my cap to you. I did lose the Bird there, no big deal. To be fair, I didn't really view him as a threat. here's where the threat came in. Darius Geis in AC, and this has happened in a couple of Maddens, more than two, but every so often, this guy AC builds one of these fucking super teams, right? Like having the Panthers, a stacked ass front seven on defense, having Cam and CMC and trading for Des Bryant in his prime and all these different things, right? Or having a perfect season with Robert Griffin in Washington. So he builds this team because he went back to Washington. And a spade is a spade. Nigga, whoop my ass, right? I can't do nothing about that. Now, I think most of us, well, I would hope so, are competitors. So you kind of look back. I lost in the divisional round of the first season, and then I got my ass beat by Washington, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl, right? Or was this the same season? I think this might even the same. It doesn't matter. Either which way, he basically like if the Lamar Jackson trade didn't happen, which I didn't expect. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna try my damnedest. But it was just looking like he was going to run. Like, every so often a certain player or a certain owner in the league, like that Madden is theirs. You get me? Like there have been Maddens where like LB goes to four straight Super Bowls. Like these are facts, and you just kind of know like that shit is going to happen. So yeah, the Lamar thing kind of fell in my lap or whatever the case is, and that like I had to scrap my offense, build a brand new offense. That was like not it was foreign to me because I had never done it in the SFL or whatever. But yeah, that shifted the balance of power because I ended up winning a couple of chips back to back or whatever the case is. But to be fair, the threat was Carter, Batman, or whatever you want to call him, right? And like there's this rivalry we have, and I don't know where it came from. Maybe it came from ACQB or whatever. But even in to go back into my earlier story, I lost my initial Super Bowl to LB. So it took, and we both won Super Bowls in between then, but we didn't meet up with each other. And I actually was scrimming, practicing with Black Diamond and came up with some things. And I made it to the Super Bowl to play LB. And again, AC was in the South with the Panthers. And I get it. You don't want your division mate to win the chip because you didn't go there. So he sold all the secrets to LB, right? He gave him everything I do on offense and defense and everything, right? Straight fucking Benedict Arnold. So, and he did this without me knowing. And LB is already super equipped to win. But now he has like the minutia, he has the finer details. And then like that was like my most rewarding Super Bowl because I went through hell to get that. I wanted that rematch. I got that back and I won that. But after I won that, AC told me that LB was quote unquote fucking useless and he gave him the keys to the kingdom. Like AC was willing to have LB run an entire cycle of Madden if it meant I didn't win a chip. So me winning that was like I won one Super Bowl there, but the shit kind of counted like two for me if that makes any sense to you. You know what I'm saying? So and I know we're weaving in and out of stories and things like that, but to an earlier point we were having Zach, and we don't really talk about this on the pod, but I have to be extremely motivated to go out and try and destroy somebody, right? So and it's not really a nostalgia thing. I just kind of know if you watch long enough, you kind of know what people are capable of. So, and again, like this rivalry thing, if it's bats, I gotta try and kick his face off, just cause, just cause, and that's my guy. And LB is my dude too. But if I see LB, I gotta run his fade. Like it's on sight. right? And that ties back into the I don't really think everybody's hungry. And that doesn't mean people can't win championships and things like that, but there, there there has to be, and I guess I don't know. It depends on which lens you're looking through. If it's disrespectful or not, like there has to be some type of equity there. Like you I don't know. Like I don't like a competitive hate. Like I have to have that in order for me to like really come outside and want to try and really tear your head off. Pause. If that makes any sense to you, you get what I'm saying. So just kind of wanted to embark and explain some of those things or whatever the case is. So I'll wrap this up with this question from Steps, and then we can all go where we gotta go because we all gotta get up early in the morning. So Zach, he wants you to rank the users in each division from best to worst, and this is for you
In
too,
each
Crim.
division.
And then after that, we can wrap this up.
In each division. Do we go? Do we go
However,
by division,
yeah,
and then
however
like
you
I
want to
go
do it,
like Crim goes, and then
that's fine. That's
that
fine.
way. Yeah.
That's fine.
Start AFC North. I think is we'll start there. I think. I mean, the standings are exactly what you'd expect them to be. I mean, Castro at 11-6 is good. TRC 14-3 with the Steelers is really good. I mean, he's that should be a. Oh, we'll see what you do with TRC, but that could be a good conference championship matchup. But
I
I
I,
think
I
the
hear
way the
what you
standings are,
you just said. Joe. I don't like that, but go ahead.
the way the standings are is exactly how I'd rate them. Ed 1, TRC 2, Castro 3, and Julian 4.
Grim, you alive?
Yeah, I would swap. I would swap Castro and TRC for right now. I would go Ed Castro, TRC, Julian, just because we've seen TRC's ups and downs, and I just want to, if he can continue what he's doing now, that probably changes. But as it stands right now, I'd put Castro above TRC.
All right. Zach, you pick the next division, and we'll go from there.
Okay, go AFC South. Continue on with the AFC. I mean AC's living good at the top there. Bird, I mean, I think if Bird had a more competent roster, I think he'd overtake AC for that one spot. But I go Bird, AC. I haven't seen much from the Colts user. Who's is that? If that's Schwartz, I believe.
Yeah, he went 1 and
And
16.
yeah, I see that. I haven't seen much from him. Brad did take a win against me in the forgotten season, so he can be 3, and we'll go 4 for Schwartz.
All right, the East.
South AFC South.
No, no, no. Oh yeah, Crim. My bad. Go ahead, Crim, for the South.
No, I would say the way the standings are how I would see it. I would say AC is first, Bird second. I'd put Brad third. I would probably put Schwartz over Brad. I think that Schwartz hit a point in the season where he figured there's no point to win. I'll just go get that first overall pick. I do think that Schwartz is better than Brad. I'd put probably Brad at last.
It's
I
wild
could see that.
disrespectful. All right, so AFC East.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I assume
Got
guys at the
Guy,
top
Cody.
here
You got the Jets guy Vision, and you got
with
TJ.
I mean, the Bills at 9-8. You'd like to see a better record than that probably with that roster, but um, I think skill wise, I think I put Cody at the 1, Guy at the 2. Uh, I haven't seen much from Visions, so he can be 3, and then that roster should be better at 4 and 13 with the Dolphins, even though I did lose to him. But any given Sunday.
Got you, Crim.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd put Cody first, Guy second. I'd put TJ third, just because I think that. I mean, again, I haven't seen a lot of Vision, so we'll see kind of how he is. But just for now, I'd put TJ third, and then Vision's fourth.
All right. The West. Crim, you can
Uh,
exclude yourself from this because I don't think this is. I mean, if you want, it doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, mine's pretty simple. Number one is me. Number two is me. Three is me. Four is me. That's not true.
I hear you, Dylon. You talk your shit.
That's
I hear you, buddy. And I mean, honestly, if you feel like that, that's fine. You got a right to feel like everybody should feel like they're the best, right? Like if I don't know, TJ feels he's the best, he has a right to feel like that. If Castro feels like he's the best, or Bird or anybody from that crew, then that's fine, right? If Brad feels like he's the best, I mean, you're supposed to. You get what I'm saying? You're supposed to feel like that. You get me? So if you honestly, I mean, you could be trolling, but if you're serious, then you're supposed to feel like you're the
yeah. I
best. Like
mean,
if you don't, then
no.
what the hell are you doing? You get what I'm saying?
I hold my own, but I know I'm not number one. And all really, on all keeping it real, it would probably be the way it's laid out. You, me, OG, then Gabe.
I agree with that. Gabe,
Well, I'm gonna whoop Gabe
Gabe
ass,
used to
by
be
the way.
better, but
Little bitch. I'm sorry. Gabe, if you ever hear this shit, you a baby back bitch. Alright, moving on. I'm sorry, guys. NFC North. So that's Turk. That's the Lions. I forgot his name. Super Yomi guy. I can't think of his name. My apologies. We got Steps. And we got LB.
This one is interesting to me. I mean, LB to me is number one. Like, that's a given. But the rest of it is very subjective. I would put my fellow 7-on-7 boy Turk at two. Then I'd throw Steps at three, and I'd put uh, BC at four. Even though BC played well this year, I'm just thinking as a whole, as a user, yeah, going into next year, I would assume that it kind of plays out that way.
Even though BC, that's his name, one versus all of them, right? I understand. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with biasness. Got you. What about you, Zach?
uh, I got it pretty close to how the division uh, ended up. I mean, with all due respect to Turk, I haven't since I've been here. I haven't seen much, if any, success from Turk. So,
It's fucked up, man.
so he probably. I mean, it's just the truth, and fine. Um, I know he wants the Cowboys next cycle, so he's good. He's got a good division. I mean, I'm not saying he's trash or nothing, but he's like, I mean, he's gonna have to turn around. I think he can do it with the roster he's got, but I'd probably put him at four. Steps in BC's a toss up. I haven't seen much of BC, but he's in the division round now, so I mean, it means something. And
Got
then
you.
LB clear cut number one.
Got you. All right, NFC South. Bryce, the division winner. Chan. Mike, who went to Whataburger and never returned. And the Saints. JD.
Fuck you, Crim.
That's uncalled for,
Man,
Zach. We're gonna move on to the question at hand, though. I feel like Chan, even though Chan went 10-7 and he's very underwhelming this year, I have to put Chan at the top. I would put Bryce at two, Mike at three if he ever comes back from Whataburger, and then JD. He didn't really play a lot, I don't think, at the tail end of the season. I know he
Yeah.
can hold his own, but I'm gonna put him four at that point.
Okay.
I agree with that list. Chan's number one for sure, but um, one of those seasons, I guess, for him. And then Bryce and Mike are pretty interchangeable as well. I think so. Um,
Got
and
you.
then yeah, JD's where he's at.
All right. So the East now. So that's Malik, who is the one seed. Garl, who is not in the playoffs, Nate, who also didn't make the playoffs, and the aforementioned Gomes, who went 4-13. And according to Zach, appears to be fast tracked to lose the Cowboys next cycle. So I don't know what he's going to do.
Oh, I mean, if he keeps doing that, yeah, he'll end up in the division still. He'll be the Giants or some shit. But
So basically, you're telling him to enjoy it while it lasts. I understand. I see what's
yeah,
happening.
pretty much. I mean, I don't know if people understand how big of a deal going 4-13 just one time is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but
You
this
know
one's
Gomes doesn't
interesting.
know it either.
He doesn't know.
You know he
He'll
doesn't.
ask us when the next cycle starts. Why am I drafted 27th? You
Yeah.
sucked. Okay, well that's
I
why.
had a podcast. That's what he's gonna say.
Yeah, more than likely. Malik here is number one. That to me is pretty apparent. Number two is tough. Like I almost want to say that the next three guys are kind of interchangeable in a sense. Gomes played like crap this year, but that's whatever. We've seen Gomes be more consistent in the past for sure. Um, I'd have to give it to I would say Garl just because you know both Garl and Nate have beaten Malik, so that's kind of how I'll measure it. The way it sits on the standings, Malik, Garl, Nate, Gomes is probably how I'd have it right now.
got you. Personally, there's no way in hell you should have all that talent and win 4 games in a season when nobody got hurt. But
That's why he's my most disappointing. It's an easy pick.
got you. And lastly, the NFC West dominated. I mean, excuse me, won by Zach. I fixed it. Zach, Pat Ladd, uh, God damn it, Dylan, and Stacks. How are we ranking this, Zach?
I mean, I don't want to rake myself because, um,
All right, so rank the
I
other
mean,
three because you clearly won the division.
no, but Pat Ladd finished ahead of me in our first season, so it's. I mean, I don't think the gap between him and I is too big, and um I lost to Dylan in the only game we had head to head.
Okay,
Our week 18 game was a sim, and then um my first game against Stack. I mean, I controlled most of that, but the second game was I believe it was a one score game, if I'm not mistaken. So, um, but the three of them present different challenges, and I think
my guy
I
got
don't, I don't
he
think
got the
it's a I don't
PG
think it's a
answers.
walk in the I don't think it's a walk in the no, but that's honest though. I don't
You
think
got a
it's
public
as easy as
relations
it.
guy, man.
Yeah, I only won against Stacks by 8 points, so I mean,
Got you. All right, Crim, what are your thoughts on the NFC West, man?
I mean, I would agree. I mean, Zach's the top there, and it's not by a lot. Like Palat is solid and he can hold his own this season, which is kind of one of those that I don't know what went wrong. I guess the update to the team itself
Mm-hmm.
helped in some aspects, but it hurt in others. So I'm just chalking up to that. And even though he finished at the bottom of the division, I'd put Stacks at third, just because of what I look at number wise. He had scored more points than Dylan, gave up less points than Dylan. Yeah, your team is better, I would say, but he just seems like he's more consistent on offense, and that's kind of what you need to be to have any sort of success in the league. So there's that. And Dylan is Dylan. I mean, he's still new to the league for the most part, so there's still a learning curve there a little bit. But if you can get Kyler Murray actually going, I feel like he'll be better. But for right now, I'd say he's probably I put him at fourth in the division.
Okay. And lastly, I asked you guys who wins the Super Bowl this season. Anybody can
uh,
answer.
since I'm
Yeah, I
still
mean, I'm
in.
out of it at this point, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna go Chargers again. I feel like it's a repeat of the first season of last franchise. I feel like you'll beat TRC. I feel like Ed and with Heineke, again, it's a different team. Yeah, obviously we had to do against me, which is what he wanted to do. He has to survive one more week without Lamar, but I feel like against this Chargers team is too much. And then the NFC is not a coin toss, but like LB and Malik probably make it, and then whoever from there. I feel like it's probably an LBQ Super Bowl, one for the ages. But I feel like this time around, after what Q kind of went over earlier, you find it again.
I'll say this: I think whoever does end up coming out of the NFC is going to have a tough time in the Super Bowl. I mean, when you look at the rosters that are left, apart from my own, the they just don't stack up well with what's remaining in the AFC.
Are there any last remarks you guys want to give to the league? I appreciate your time.
Yeah, if anybody wants that third overall pick in this upcoming draft, you know where to find it. Also, I want to shout out every Canadian in the league: Gomes, Brad, myself, Zach. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's anyone else I'm missing.
Dylan's Canadian.
Dylan, yes, I forgot about Dylan. I disregarded Dylan, disrespected him, putting him at the bottom of his own division. I'm sorry, but we should all band together and fire our way back to steps, because this man hates Canada and we won't stand for it. We will not have it.
That's crazy. Shout out to Bryce with 3 first rounders. That's insane.
I just want to say that Gomes needs to send me Micah.
Hey man, even I asked. He told me no, he needs him.
But like, if he's
I think
going
they all want to be
4-13, he
free.
doesn't need him.
I think they all want to be free, man. But end of the day, it is what it is, right? All right, guys. Appreciate your time. This is the Island of Relevancy signing off. Catch you on the next one where there will be slander involved, because that's how we roll. And we're done.